What's up, good people? Today we're talking about 20 lessons that I've learned in life that's going to help you out, that has helped me out greatly. So if you see me looking over here, I have them written down so I don't forget. All right, let's get into it. Number one, human connection is greater than Zoom. I cannot stress enough how important human connection is, right? We're in a world where like technology is great, Zoom is great, but nothing is going to beat human connection. Why? Body language. I feel like you can connect easier. I feel like the message doesn't get lost when you're actually in front of the person. And yes, I understand you can't do that with everybody based on where you live at, but human connection is greater than Zoom. So that's number one. Number two, get around people who will not accept your excuses. There are a couple people in my life who I know when I need to get a goal accomplished, I contact those people. Why? They're the people who they're not even going to listen to any excuse I give them. They're literally going to call me out, call me up and be like, get it done. You said you want this. Go get it done, Drew. Simple. But then there's people who I have who are not like that. They'll listen to all my excuses. Number three, this might ruffle some feathers. Happiness is overrated. Happiness is overrated. I believe joy is great because happiness is just it's a feeling based on what's happening at the moment. As we know, that can always change. Kind of like motivation. I believe you should go after joy, which is a state of being versus just happiness. That's just mine. Number four, hear without condemning yourself. I used to always get flustered and beat up on myself if someone was telling me something about myself or they were explaining something and I couldn't solve it or I didn't think it was right or true. But I started just taking steps and just realizing, just listen. They can be presenting a case that's about you or not about you, and you don't have to do anything right now. Just listen. That's very, very hard though, so don't get tripped up and thinking that's gonna come easy. Number five, no one needs to change for you to change. Often we feel that if someone changes, it's going to be easier for us to change. That may sound right, but if you're waiting for someone to change for you to change, it's going to be a long time. And it's probably not going to last because you're not changing for all the right reasons. You should be changing because you want to. As we know, change is hard, right? If you think about changing, think about the mental part first. And then I would say think about the spiritual part second. And then think about the action that you have to take. But you don't need someone else to change first before you change. Next one, make decisions. This is something that I've suffered with. I would just think. I would just try to wait for the perfect scenario, the perfect time, and it didn't get me far. So make the decision, right? If it's bad, fix it. If it's not bad, then you made the decision. But don't be the person who just goes with the flow. Don't do that. Don't do that. Number seven, change the story in your head. We all have areas of our lives where there's a story that's going on in our head, and we sometimes we become adjacent to that story, and that story cannot be true. It could be old, outdated, and sometimes we just go towards that story. One of my stories was always like, oh, I'm not smart enough, so I can't do that. Well, how do you change the story? Start telling yourself something different. I can become smart. I have a video called The Growth Mindset versus Fixed Mindset that you guys should check out, which helps you identify how do I change that. You do not have to stick to the old story, and believe it or not, you have a lot of old stories that could be holding you back. Number eight, fight against religious strongholds. I got to be quick with this one because I can make podcast seasons out of this one. Religious is what you do just to get approved by people and approved by God, but it's not true. Right relationship is something that you want more because that is where God is at, and that is actually what God wants for you. Relationship versus religion. Is religion bad? We're not getting into that today because this is not what this is about, and it would take forever. Discomfort is a sign of growth. I would always think as soon as I got uncomfortable that I was doing something wrong, or when the things kept happening, uncomfortable things kept happening, I kept thinking that, what am I doing wrong that these things just keep happening to me. And it was just more so, it's a sign of growth. When something is growing, it usually doesn't feel good or look good, right? You guys know when like a kid is losing a tooth, right? The other one is starting to push in. It doesn't look great. It doesn't feel great, but then it produces something better, which are better, stronger teeth. Discomfort is a sign of growth. Number 10, don't go to bed mad. You're better off writing, praying, meditating, whatever you got to do. Don't go to bed mad, right? The Bible talks about don't let the sun go down on your wrath, but going to bed mad usually messes up your sleep because all of those thoughts are just floating around in your subconscious mind, and you don't need that. You don't need that. Number 11, go to therapy. If you know me at all, I'm a big advocate for therapy. I think therapy is one of the greatest things you can have in your life because it allows you to learn about yourself. It allows you to understand why you are the way you are, why you do certain things you do, and you always have somebody that's not biased towards you, so you get a lot of opinion, perspectives, and I think we all need it. I think we all need therapy. Number 12, allow yourself to feel. You don't have to process everything immediately. You don't have to always have a solution for it, and believe it or not, you can't do it for long. Don't run away from the feelings. Feel them. Find out, why do I feel angry? Why do I feel upset? Why do I feel jealous? Why did this person hurt me and I'm still mad about it 30 years from now? I think that's important. Emotion is data, and it allows us to realize that something happened or is happening and I can process it. If you forget about it and you suppress it, it usually comes out in a different way. Trust me. Trust me on that one. The next one, 13. Be willing to be misunderstood. TD Jakes had a book called Disruptive Thinking, right? Adam Grant has a book called, it's not called The Outliers, but it really talks about originals. It talks about people making strides in the earth, doing things differently. If you're going to be a person who's a game changer, a pioneer, a harbinger, you got to be willing to not be understood all the time, right? People are not going to understand why you make radical decisions, why you make assumptions, why you do things you do. And if you can be okay with that, you're good. If you can't be okay with that, then just hang it up now. 14, God's rejection is his direction. God will say no more times than he says yes. And sometimes he does that because A, we're not ready. B, it's not for us. C, there's something that he has better for us. You don't need to go into like deep theology. For that, just trust that if he's redirecting or if he's rejecting you from something, take it with a grain of salt that he knows more than you know. And he actually knows what's best for you rather than you thinking you know what's best for you. Number 15, take ownership, right? You can't keep blaming the world for why you are the way you are. Have I done that before? Raise my hand. I would raise both of my hands if this mic wasn't in my hand. Take ownership, right? If you can take ownership, you can move forward. If you can take ownership, then you can do marvelous things. Believe it or not, you cannot do major things without taking ownership. It's not possible. It's not possible. Number 16, stop trying to figure it all out. Stop trying to figure it all out. The Bible talks about leaning not on your understanding, but really, it's really saying like you're not going to get all the answers. You're not going to know all the answers. And as soon as you think you do, things usually change. So trust God, worry less, pray a little bit more. Number 17, let your friends help you. One of my friends told me something that was so marvelous. I told them I wanted to be a better friend in 2025. And they were like, yo, we think you're a great friend. Just allow us to help you. And I was like, what does that come from? Definitely like hyper independence, trauma, all that stuff. But I said, you know what? I'm willing to receive that. Let your friends help you. They want to help you. Number 18, what you focus on will grow. We always know that. Where focus goes, energy goes, or energy flows. If you want something to grow, start focusing on that. Right? If you want to be better in shape, start focusing on how to get in shape. If you want to eat better, start focusing on doing things that people who eat better do. Focus on the thing that you want to grow. We usually focus on the thing that's not growing. That gets us in a lot of trouble. Number 19, do the shadow work. Do the inner work. right? I believe soul work is something that is misunderstood. It's underrated, but I believe there's a big payoff for soul work. Why? Because it's the work that actually sets you up for everything else. If you're doing inner work, you're not going to treat people crazy. You're not going to be doing a lot of things that you could be doing if you don't do the soul work. And let me tell you this, what we see on social media is not real soul work. That's people just pretending that they're doing work. Soul work hurts and it's ugly. It's very ugly, but it's pretty at the end. Number 20, last one, stop missing workouts. Find a gym, join it, show up. You don't need to be motivated. You don't need to feel good all the time. You're not going to feel warm and fuzzy. You're going to hurt. It's going to be ugly. These are my 20 life lessons. Tell me the one that helped you and tell me the one that shocked you. And I'll see you when I see you. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.